All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being on the Team Fit and Free August Zoom. My name is Sarah Morrison, and it's seriously like um, a great feeling to walk away to go deal with my son and come back to all these faces. Like, it's really amazing that you all are on. We're recording too, but so nice that so many of you could be here for this. So I'm really grateful for you guys for so many reasons, and this is just another one to add to the list. So really quick, just a few announcements really fast here. So the Mindset Bootcamp, I mentioned that in the loop last week and then in the loop today. That is going to be August 30th, 31st, September 1st. Just another reminder. It's going to be open to all of Team Rockstar Fit, but want to make sure that you guys have that in your planner if you can make that. More details coming soon. I'm tackling that after this Zoom is done. And also the SOS social media group, September 5th. Shout out to Julianne, who just had this SOS idea, put it into action. And you guys have been soaking it up. Like, so many people from the team get in there. And I'm really excited for the social media one because it's huge. Like, social media is how we spread the message, is how we meet more people, how we strengthen relationships. So September 5th, it'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, and Mountain Time. You just always get left out. You have to figure it out yourself. Sorry. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for being on. Expectations. This isn't going to be your, like, inspirational, set your hair on fire, like Trina would say, type of call. It's going to be some logistics, things that I've talked about frequently now with a lot of coaches, my personally sponsored coaches, and I'm like, yeah, this warrants being shared more. And there might be some stuff that you hear tonight that you're like, I don't even know, I just started a month ago. So, like, don't worry. Like, that stuff will make sense when it needs to make sense, and there's still going to be stuff from this call that you can definitely take. So, and we're going to talk about two different things, basically. We're going to talk about, rank and how it relates to what you want. Rank meaning coach, emerald, ruby, diamond, star diamond, and above. And how that relates to what you want out of this business. And then also how to be a rock hard diamond, just looking logistically like a business owner at your back office and applying that from what you see in your back office to the people on your team. So that's where we're going to go. And so first I just want to start with rank. So some people might be a coach level right now. I see some new faces on here. We've got emeralds, we've got diamonds, we've got star diamonds. We've got ranks all over on our team, which is awesome. And rank is great. There are a lot of perks that come with rank. Getting to emerald is that first benchmark, having 2 personally sponsored coaches. And hitting that is huge. Doing that as fast as you can if you want to grow a team is an important thing to do. So first, just ask yourself, where do I want to be 6 months from now in this business? And don't let any excuses filter into your head. Don't let any assumptions filter in. Just what would you like 6 months from now? And that might be a rank goal. That might be, I'd love to be able to pay my car payment, with 1 week's paycheck. That might be, I'd love to be 20 pounds down and have inspired my mom. What do you want? You're listening to a woman who has comparisonitis. So I was frozen for a very long time because I was looking at what everyone else was doing and I was trying to make that my goals. And things took off for me when I put on the blinders. So think about what you want and then think, what does that mean my business needs to do in the next 6 months? I'm guessing, I'm going to make an assumption. I know I say never to make assumptions, but I'm going to make one right now that most of you guys probably do want to grow a team. You're on this call that shows some initiative that you want something out of this. And a lot of you looking out here are emerald already. But maybe this is something you can apply to your coaches when you're talking to them. What do you want 6 months from now? Maybe they just want to lose 30 pounds and gain their confidence. And then you walk the walk, personal development, let's share it on social media. Think about that. If you start telling a coach who doesn't want a team, you got to go emerald, that might freeze them. You just need to get them in control of their own health sometimes. So you've got to think about what you want and give it 6 months and realize that there's always a 3 months lag in this business. What you're doing today on August 17th, 18th, is not going to show up till November in general. You know, putting that consistency in is going to show up 3 months from now. So, like I said, going emerald is important, especially if you want to build a team. Perks start to come with that. Once you hit diamond, there's even more perks from that. But think about what you want. And if, let me just mute lines really quick. I didn't mute them, but I think I can hear some background. Sorry, distracted. If you're in this business because you're like, gosh, I don't want to have to go back to work, or I don't want to have to be in a situation where I put my kids in daycare this fall or something like that, then rank is awesome, but you need to think about the bottom line. You need to think about the paycheck. What does this need to be doing for you? So we're going to kind of talk about that as well, so you don't end up in a situation where you hit this diamond goal, which is amazing. So many perks come from diamond. It's definitely worth going after, but end up making $36 a week. You know, we all want you to be more, feel more successful and be rewarded more for that. Okay, pause one more time. Hey, Emily, can you just mute? For some reason, I don't have access to muting you. You've got like some secret power. Okay. There we go. Okay, sorry about that, you guys. So with the emerald thing, really quick, I just wanted to touch on, I don't know if everyone realizes, so going emerald is easy to do. You know, there's people in your life that probably support you, maybe a mom, a husband, anything like that, and you could do that. Sometimes I find coaches end up in situations where they're buying product now in their business and in their husband's business and something else, which is fine if you use it. But I think we've all been there, at least had a coach where it's like, we have 8 bags of Shakeology. And you're like, okay, let's figure something out. So realize there's so many things now. So I was in the situation, I cited my husband, and I had to buy Shakeology under both of us because we didn't have all this other stuff. So you put Shakeology under your site, and then under a spouse, under a mom, like the performance line rocks. Like get some energized, get some recharge. There's so many other things that you could use. So it's easier to be emerald now if you're using that stuff and consuming it versus, you know, having to have both of those things happening in your business center. So just kind of a note. I don't think a lot of people realize that is a nice perk. So before you rush to diamond, you know, think about what you want out of it. Do you want stability? You want financial freedom coming in, or are you wanting to get to that rank really fast? Because you can totally get to diamond quickly. You can definitely make it happen, but it might not have the financial reward you might be expecting when you get there. And so just to share my story, when I first signed up as a coach in 2010, I went to diamond. I don't even know how fast I went to diamond, but I know I was a diamond before I was truly in this business. And that was because I just talked to everyone I knew at my health club and signed people up and never did anything to coach them. I just assumed they would stay active because I was staying active. And I remember one night I woke up and I looked at my back office, or one morning I woke up on a Thursday morning and it said emerald. And I was just kind of like, oh, I was so used to that saying diamond. And I had to go meet my sponsor, Trina, and one of our friends, Tracy, who is also a Beachbody coach. And we were having like a business brainstorming session. And we were at a local coffee shop, and they were just like, oh, we need to get the town north of us inspired. Like, we should go up there and do some, like, fit clubs and stuff like that. They're, like, fired up. Like, have you talked to this person? You should talk to this person. Like, they're, like, moving forward in their business. And then they're just like, why are you being so quiet? And I just started bawling. And I'm like, it was just embarrassing cry, like can't talk cry, like trying to explain it. They probably thought I was crazy. And I'm like, I was an emerald this morning. But it was so much more than that, because it was like the realization that I'm like, I am not a real diamond. I am a cubic zirconia is what I call it. There's not a solid foundation there at all. I was not leading a team. I was not engaging with my coaches. Yeah, it wasn't stable. It was just a title with nothing behind it. So I want to help you guys all avoid that, build a strong diamond and beyond, because this business has enough success for every single one of us, all 41 of us on here right now times 41. I think that covers our team and more. There's enough success for everyone. We can all be 15-star diamonds. Don't ever let that stop you. Don't ever let that make you think that you're not going to be there too. But you've got to invest in your people, and you've got to have real connections. So the leadership ladder is a great tool. It seems kind of boring, but it's so not. I love that the company Beachbody created this leadership ladder because it shows you benchmarks. The company wants coaches that are truly guiding other coaches who love this too. You know, they don't want, there's been things addressed in some of the groups that I'm in for elite and up, like they don't want people just massively signing people up and whoever makes it, makes it. They don't want that. And so they made this leadership ladder to give you these benchmarks of things you can look at. Like this is on average what a successful coach at this level is making. So the leadership ladder is in your back office. I'm going to share my screen right here too. Okay. So let's look at this. So a business starter, like basically right there is just hitting Success Club. Think of that as a coach. That is the coach level. And a lot of this stuff is non-applicable because you don't have any coaches yet. You don't have team volume, stuff like that. This green one is Emerald. You know, you're hitting Success Club. This is the foundation for everything because Success Club just shows action. Okay? It's showing action that you're taking consistently is what Success Club does. And you're an Emerald rank, and this commissions $250 a month. So you've got some volume happening pretty much every week. That's huge. Okay, we don't want to get to a point where we don't have volume because that is showing that you're hitting Success Club and that you're bringing people in and stuff like that. Personally sponsored coaches with 1 point. At least 1 point. I love that they don't make you have them hit Success Club 2. They just need to have 1 point because Success Club points show action. So that lets them know that you have coaches that are engaging. It's not just your mom who you signed up for a discount that you're ordering through when you need to kind of stuff. And then weak leg team volume. I love this because the team volume bonus is where people who are in like the Millionaires Club and things like that, they're not selling thousands of challenge packs. They are growing a team that is being successful and they're mentoring them. And that's where their money, their paycheck comes from, is team volume. So this is setting you up to get to at least 200 volume points on your weak leg a month. So think about that. Your weak leg, maybe it's your left, maybe it's your right. If you're not sure what it is, generally your weak leg is the leg that has the lower volume. Or if you don't see that clearly, think about which leg do you have help from someone in your upline. And if you don't know, ask your sponsor. And that'll help you determine that leg you have help with will generally be your strong leg in most cases. Okay? So your weak leg is what's going to help your team volume grow. So this is about 50 volume points a week on your weak leg. And then team leader is what we really want to strive for as diamonds. And I will talk about that more in a moment. And we'll definitely take questions at the end. I know it's kind of like technical and stuff like that, but we can definitely take questions at the end. So jot them down if you have any that pop into your head. So the team leader, that is, when I look at that, I'm like, that's a rock hard diamond. When I was on the couch and I discovered I was Emerald that day, I was not a rock hard diamond. I wasn't close to any of those benchmarks there. So to be a rock hard diamond, you know, you want to have a solid team that's engaging too. And okay, actually it makes more sense to go back to this really quick. So 1,000 in commissions a month. I love that that just goes up because a successful leader is mostly still running challenges. And you guys, I guess I say mostly and in most cases a lot because everyone does this differently. This is what I do that I'm sharing and what a lot of people that I have spoken to in Team Rockstar Fit do as well. There's a million ways to do this business. I'm sharing what's worked best for me. My commissions are always still consistent. And for a long time, my commissions were way more than my volume. And that's how a lot of people go into this business. If you are trying to get to diamond and your commissions are like $50 a week and your personal volume, that PV number, if that's low, like maybe the whole month is like 300, that probably means you're taking a lot of your people and your challenges and turning them to coaches right away, maybe before they're ready sometimes. And they're not engaging their friends and family. They're not comfortable inviting yet, so you've taken your $30 a month that you were getting from them buying Shakeology, and now it's contributing to a team volume bonus that's not that big in the beginning. That's got to build up, and that builds up when you engage teammates and you mentor them and you help them grow confidence. So that's why you still definitely want to have commission. Success Club Diamond, you want to have coaches on your team also earning Success Club points. And then this is great too. So 5,000 on your week leg in team volume. So I just broke the month down into 4 weeks. That would be about 1,250 points. And if you divide that by what the team volume bonus is for Diamond of $18, that equals around $200. So that's a pretty steady income. Your team volume bonus is what you can kind of look at as your salary, and like look at your past maybe like 2 months and add them up, divide by 8, and you can kind of see, okay, what's my salary right now? And then that can give you a goal, like what do I want to push towards next? And then we can talk about how to do that and engaging your team. I want to talk about PV here for a second, just to make sure. Sorry, I probably should have shown this one quick. This is the quickest place you can see your PV. It's right on your home screen, left side, your projected PV. You always want that to be pretty high. And the closer these two numbers are together, that's pretty good too. Because a lot of times, if this is like $1,000 difference, that means that you are purchasing a lot of stuff, which is great if you use it. And maybe you're selling it to people who just don't want to order it themselves or something like that. But your projected PV, you want to try and keep that number nice and high. So when I look at my sponsorship drill down, and this is just a sample, I like to look at PVs. And this is why we like to do the 900 Club, because like I mentioned, I know coaches are getting a good paycheck. I know that they're getting their Shakeology covered when I see some strong PVs. So this column right here, 90, 180, 244, this is the PVs of coaches, some of the coaches on my team. I just took a snapshot of the sponsorship drill down. That's awesome. Like 1605, like I know this coach is definitely making at least $150 every single week. That feels good. Like for someone who's putting in time, that feels good, and that's going to build. I can look at someone who, this coach is loving the products. And this is like that one, not, what was I going to talk about? This coach is loving the products because their customer PV is so much less. It's 300 points less. So that tells me that 300 of those points is stuff they have personally ordered. So, that's a good cue. Like, let's touch, what are they using? What are they loving? Like, make sure that they are still loving it, that they don't have any questions about it. Because if you don't ever touch base on that kind of stuff, they might just like quit one day. I have a stockpile. I'm not really loving it or using it anymore. So PV is a great thing to look to. It's a great thing. I love incentivizing it on our team because of the reasons I just said. I know that means that people are at least getting commissions, which in the beginning of this business, if you want to be making $100 a week, $200 a week, commissions is where it's at while you are building your team. So let me see. Some of the times when this conversation has come up with coaches in my downline, and I can use Carrie as an example, she gave me the okay. Carrie's a single mom. She was working 5 jobs, and I think now she just does Beachbody and teaches group fitness classes, but she wanted to start working her way out of some of that stuff. And, Carrie will tell you she never used to answer the phone on Sunday because it was a creditor calling, and it was just debt. And, like they say sometimes it was paycheck to paycheck, but there was no paycheck at the end of all the bills. And she shared a story the other day about going to Walmart with her daughter, and her daughter wanting Pokemon cards and oranges. And she's like doing the math, and she's like, we can't get the oranges. That's heartbreaking to me. Like I never want to be in a spot like that. And I know none of you either probably want that. And so when Carrie and I talk, she's like, Sarah, I need to be making more money in this. Like, and I know her situation. I'm like, okay, like let's forget about rank. What do you need to do? We looked at her back office. We looked at her sponsorship drill down. I was like, you need to get your PV up. The money that you need right now is in commissions. So you need to be just inviting. Don't try to turn people to coaches really fast if they're not ready. And so that commissions is like $300, $400. She said her biggest commissions, just commissions, was like $600 one week when she did a 7-day Shakeology challenge, and then a whole bunch of people wanted to join a challenge. So that's going to get money in your pocket faster if you need it. And you guys, I hope you know this business is so much more than money, but there's a lot of you who are like, no, I need to pay some bills now. I want to do this full time. Like, we got to be realistic here too. But then Carrie and I also talked about our downline. So we said, PV, you got to get that up there. That's where it starts. When I was making $700 a week in this business, like $400 of it was my commissions. And that team volume bonus grows and grows as your team gets more confident and as they mentor, and it starts to switch. And then we looked at our downline and we said, what can we do to encourage your downline more? And I just had this conversation with Kaylin, one of Carrie's coaches as well. She wants to leave her job at Applebee's, which she's leaving in like 2 days, I believe. So that's super exciting. And it's like you can't make the team volume appear, but you can do some activities to try and help it go faster. So if you have like 2 coaches or something like that, yes, you can use that with them, and think about this with your team when you're bringing it on. So let me pull up another. So many buttons. Sorry, crew. Okay. So sponsorship drill down. Freaking love it. Hopefully you guys are in there and you get more and more comfortable with it. So this is a snapshot of a coach's downline, and we just got in here and broke it down. And I was like, okay, here's people's PVs. Who do you have active? Who do you have inactive? And some of the first things that we talked about were growing interest in other programs and products with your coaches. So I'll take this off share here. You kind of see where I saw. Your coaches, you might have coaches on your team who sign up because they love Shakeology and they love the team, and that's awesome. Like, totally, like, you can do that. There's so many benefits to being a coach, and there's so many amazing products that Beachbody has that I guarantee they're probably going to like too. So think about, like, maybe I need to introduce them to the Shakeology Boost, Focus Energy Boost. It's my favorite. I tell everyone about it. Maybe you need to introduce them to Performance Line. Maybe you want to invite them to a new challenge that you're doing with Country Heat. There's so many things that they might want to do. Maybe they want to do a 3D refresh once a month. So when you talk to them about their goals. Maybe they don't want to invite people to challenges. Maybe they don't want to grow a team, but I bet you they want to be healthier themselves and try some new stuff out. If they sign up to be a coach, they obviously love this stuff and would probably be wanting to hear more. Ask them. That's a good way to try and get your volume up more and get your coaches even better results and keep them even more engaged. So that's something you could do quickly. Keep getting them results for sure. When I see inactive in the back office, like, to me, that's not a sign it used to be like whatever. They don't get it. But now I try to look at it as, okay, they've fallen off the wagon. If someone's inactive or not following through with what they're saying as a coach, it's probably 99% of the time, maybe 95. Some crazy family stuff can happen, but most of the time it's because they don't feel confident in their own health and fitness. They have probably been on 8 days straight of eating chocolate chips, which is what I would do. But there's a lot of other things that you could do. So look at inactive with compassion instead of, maybe you don't do that. I'm talking about what I used to do. And reach out to them. How's your own health and fitness? Can we just talk about that? Gosh, put them in your challenge. Like, will you be in my challenge and just be a participant? I have coaches on my team all the time where I'm like, just get in this challenge group and get your head back in it because you were rocking it before. Someone cannot be an effective coach if they cannot have their head in the game when it comes to their health and fitness. Like, don't even waste your time trying to get them to coach. It seems simple, but sometimes I didn't realize that. So be passionate about inactive. Think of that as they need help. They need me to be their coach right now and not their sponsor. And then another way with your downline, like, so many times when I have coaches come on, like I can tell like, boom, okay, that coach is ready to go. They can do this. They got the materials, they're invited. And sometimes it's like, this coach is a little bit unsure, but I see the potential there and I know they trust me. And so then in this case, it's like, would you feel comfortable inviting a few people to do this challenge with you? So run it for them. Be the main leader. Give them the tools to invite. And, that can start to help them earn their confidence for sure, but also increase your team volume, keep them more engaged. If they have their Shakeology covered, like they're probably going to be super excited and want to do it some more. Like it's a win, 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 win here for sure. So those are some things that we talked about with the downline. And I just want to revisit again, you guys, if you want to go to Diamond and that's your goal, that's awesome. There is nothing wrong with that. There are so many perks. If you are taking coaches who are taking challengers who maybe they've been in a challenge for 1 month and you're just asking everyone in your challenge group. I just had this discussion with my coach, Katrina. She heard it on a national wake-up call. Everyone's going to do this differently. It's up to you. She said, I heard that this coach invites every single one of her challengers to be a coach on her team, and she gets them all to this new coach level. And that's great if you want to do that. I don't want to do that because a lot of times, a lot of people in my challenge groups are not ready to be a coach. Like they're still struggling. They lost 5 pounds and they were a 10, like 7 days out of 21. Like they're still trying to work on themselves. It's like, let's get you the next challenge group. Let's get you the next challenge group. You're going to have challengers. You guys will know it. Ashley Ware was a challenger my 5 day. I was like, coach, instantly, we're talking about that. You're going to know when you need to have that conversation. Sarah, I'll use you as an example. She did a couple of challenges and she rocked it. I was like, okay, let's have this conversation now. But there's some people that need to be in there longer to build their confidence. My general rule is I don't really ever mention discount coaching anymore unless someone complains that they don't have enough money to keep going or something like that. And if someone's been in my challenges for 6 months straight and I can tell they love Shakeology, they love this community, then I'm like, I'd love to extend the discount to you. That's how I say it. I'm like, I have loved getting commissions. I have loved how loyal you are. I love you in these groups. Like, I really just want to make sure you realize you could be saving money. You could have saved this much money so far. You love Shakeology. Do you want to save some money? Like, I want to offer that to you. Like, that's how I had that conversation if it ever comes to that. That's what works for me. You can do whatever works for you. But I find that when I've signed up discount coaches in the past, I've been, boom, a cubic zirconia. You want to try and get people who fall in love organically with the product, with what we offer. Let's talk about, okay, we're going to end with commissions. But I want to talk about strong leg, weak leg really quick. I think the majority of you probably, it's pretty clear, like if you looked in your graphical genealogy, you'll probably see some other people underneath you that you don't know. And that's cool. That comes from people in your upline. That's like the whole team effort. And you'll probably see them mostly on one side, maybe all on one side. That's a clear sign of what your strong leg is. You can look at your left leg volume or right leg volume, whichever one's higher is your strong leg. But there's sometimes situations where they might bounce back and forth or they're pretty close. Try to identify what it is so you can make the most out of your team volume. And if this doesn't make sense right now because you don't have team volume yet, don't even worry about it, okay? Try and identify which one's going to be the strongest based on your upline, or maybe you have a rock star who wants this as bad as you in one of those legs. And start to add 2 to whichever you choose as your strong, 1 to your weak. 2 to your strong, 1 to your weak. Because you always want a 2-to-1 ratio, because the way team volume works is for every 200 points, every 100 points over here, that's a cycle, and that equals $14. So you want to have a leg that's kind of double the other leg. It's not always going to be perfect, but I've heard of coaches trying to balance their legs, and it's just because they've never really thought about it. It's probably just symmetry and they like it, but you're never going to max out or get the most out of your team volume bonus that you could if you do that. So just a quick little note there on team volume. And again, if that didn't make sense, don't worry about it. When you're there, it will, and your sponsor will be there to help you. I want to talk about commissions. And so commissions meaning your whole paycheck now. This business has the potential to give you the biggest raise in your life in the fastest amount of time compared to pretty much any other job. out there. But there's kind of like a plateau effect that will happen sometimes. And I've said it and I've heard other coaches say it like, oh my gosh, it's just my paycheck's not growing. I'm doing so much work and it's not growing. Nothing's happening. And you've got to realize that the majority of the time your commissions, and I'm going up here because that's the top on the commissions report, is where you're going to be making the money. This is you literally reaching out to people, engaging them in challenge groups, helping them get results. This is what you're getting paid for. And your team volume bonus might be $14, then $18, $36. Like it's growing as you are investing into this team that you're building, and it's going to start to go like this. And it will seem like it's not growing your total paycheck, and then it's going to go like this, and your paycheck's going to go higher faster than it has before. So that's exciting, and you just have to remember that. Like, look at that team volume bonus. If you're growing a team, you want to see that number go up. You want to see that number go up. Set goals for yourself. And I would always set them by my week leg volume. If my week leg, I remember when it was 1,000 on average every single week. And I was like, sweet, I want to get to 2,000. And then it was like, okay, now I want to have it to be 3,500. And I would like break it down to like, okay, that's 700 or whatever it is a day. So progress those goals, but that will help you with that. So I want to show you some commissions right now. And I don't know why, I don't feel weird. Like I would totally share anything with you guys. I just don't want, I guess I'm thinking too much about people's reactions. Like just remember, everyone's different. I didn't start this business super fast. I kind of like doubted myself the majority of the time and still do like 10% of the time. But I want you to see the potential of this. So let me share my screen. I've got so many pictures open here. Okay, so what I did was I went back to January 2013, and because that's when I really actively started engaging as a coach. And so I went to January 2013, June 2013, then the same thing for 14, the same thing for 15, same thing for 16. So you can kind of see. So if you look, like my retail commissions in January, pretty high. Like I would say when I was looking at these on average, it was generally always around $200. My team volume bonus is growing. Remember, I had been a diamond, a crappy diamond. So I had a pretty decent team volume bonus. Like I'm thinking I probably, if it was $14, I don't want to do the math right now. It was probably close to around 1,000 volume points a week at this point. Next year, 2014, not a lot of change, some growth, but it's been pretty like kind of steady. I'm not complaining. This is an awesome paycheck. This pays for a lot. And team volume bonus is still kind of the same, but I'm investing in my team. I'm starting to figure out how to mentor people, how to best help them, how to not do a one size fits all for people, but my retail commission is still really high. June 2014, one of my biggest paychecks ever at that time. Team volume bonus is starting to go, but my commissions are still super high because I'm still running challenges. I'm still inviting tons of people. I'm doing a 5-day, I'm doing a 21-day. Like that system is still going. And then 2015, it really starts to take off. So if you look at like, you see the raise here within a year. That's huge. From June 2013 to June 2014, that's a huge, huge raise. And sometimes when we're just in it every day, it doesn't necessarily feel like that. And then into 2015, boom, doubles even faster. You know, definitely picking up more. The team volume bonus is growing and growing. And then this year, even more, like more than doubled. So you guys, this is consistency. And this is investing in people. And this is still running challenge groups every single month, still inviting people all the time, still doing the dailies that you guys will do in power hours every single day. And it's investing in a team. And when you invest in others and you help them see that they can do this too, like that's what the team volume bonus is a reward for. And that will grow. And that's going to do more than you could ever do by yourself in commissions. The power of a team. And there's enough of that for everyone. So you just have to build that team and really make real connections with each person. What do they want out of it? So there's a lot of logistics. Yay. But I hope that was helpful. And if you have questions or anything like that, please feel free to unmute. I'm happy to answer any questions.
I do. I have a question, Sarah.
Yeah.
About the balancing the legs thing. I thought that's what we're supposed to do. Add to your right, add to your left, add to your right, add to your left. So we don't do that?
Pam, I can so tell it's you by your voice, and I'm just trying to find you. Oh, there you are, because it feels weird.
I'm next to you on my screen.
You do. When you're doing emerald, you need one on your right, you need one on your left. When you're trying to get to diamond, you need 4 on your right and you need 4 on your left. You do need that to get to a certain rank. And then if you're at a point where you're diamond, I would start to try and do 2 on your strong leg, 1 on your weak, 2 on your strong leg, 1 on your weak, so that you can get your team volume bonus. Like whatever the volume's happening, you can like get the most money out of that team volume bonus. Does that make sense?
It is. And I think that's a lot of why I'm sucking wind. Because I've not done that.
Having the team volume bonus that you want.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, take a look at it. Like, I know Sarah will look at it with you. I'll look at it with you. And just like, it is good to look at the logistics, because you guys were running a business, and especially when you're at the diamond level, you're running people, you're running numbers. Like, this is good stuff to understand and kind of get excited about and know what that number means for your business.
Yeah. Okay. And two, when you have a husband that's emerald and you're trying to keep his emerald, that's another thing. It's not only your right and your left. You have to try to keep him emerald as well. Yeah. So that's kind of where I'm struggling. I'm the cubic zirconia right now. So I totally.
Well, I've been there. And I think a lot of people relate. My husband was an emerald. My husband was a diamond. He's not a diamond right now, because I'm like, I just want to focus on my business. But that's the goal. You want to get more people to emerald. Like, really, to be a rock hard diamond, it's not just an emerald on each leg. Like, you want to have as many emeralds as possible so that you don't have to be worrying about people going inactive. But a lot of the stuff we talked about with engaging coaches can help with that.
Okay. Good deal.
Yeah. Questions? Is that like the most boring Zoom ever? I'm surprised you guys are all awake. Go ahead. Carrie, how about I ask you for an on-the-spot testimonial? We were sharing earlier numbers, and I'm so proud of her. She implemented a lot of the stuff we talked about, and things have changed. Is this totally on the spot? She has no idea. I was calling her out.
Yes, go ahead.
Well, we talked about this probably like maybe the beginning of the year.
Yeah, maybe beginning of spring. Maybe or end of winter.
So what'd you do with that information, and how have things changed?
I started paying attention to my volume, my weak side volume, because I had a great strong leg. My strong leg was strong. I'm on you are on one of my legs, and I've got Teresa and I have Kristen Burns adding people to that leg. I'm lucky I have a very strong leg. So I need to concentrate on my weak leg. And so what you suggested was that I engage all of my coaches, and engage them by maybe even just holding a team-wide challenge, just to engage even the discount coaches or people who are inactive. You had suggested I introduce some of the Energize, or do like just a mini spotlight on Energize, Hydrate, the performance line, and even ask other coaches, for a testimonial. And started sharing more about the boosts. I use the boosts. I use Energize and Hydrate and Recover. And so we just would start talking about it and building more. The more information everyone got, they were like, well, yeah, I want to try that too. And then it must have been at the beginning of the year, because was it April maybe, when Hardcore came out, you had suggested doing a team-wide challenge. And I'm like, you know what? We're doing this. Our entire team, we are doing 22-minute Hardcore. New program coming out. I just got the entire freaking team excited about it. I made up tank tops for people that were going to come to this event. We did a Super Saturday. And any coach that was going to be at our event, they had a tank top that said Hardcore on it. And, it was just building prizes and excitement. And then they all, not only did they buy the program, but they got other people engaged. And right after that is when we had this huge explosion in our team. Like, huge. And then from there, just keeping everyone engaged and I kept my eye on the volume, and I'm like, okay, this is what it needs to be. This is how I need to make it go there. And then with the 7-day sampler, it's a teeny tiny amount of volume, but the more people that you have in your downline doing that teeny tiny amount of volume, it builds. And then that tiny volume in the 7-day, I think we all know now, flips to a great big challenge pack for everyone, right?
I love it. So basically you went from how am I going to make this work to cover my bills to now having a more consistent paycheck that has grown double since then.
Yeah, I went from, January and February and March. Actually, I hit Success Club 27, 29, and like 26 for 3 straight months. And it burned me out, man. It's fun and the money is great, but that will burn you out. And I'm like, that's when I came to you and said, I need to do something different. I need to create I want this team cycle bonus. How do I do that? I went from just commissions and whatever. I remember one of my checks was probably like $38 or whatever one of those tiny little team cycle bonuses was. And I'm like, I can't have this. I need to make more money, and I need to know how to do this. Sorry if that sounds selfish, but the cool thing is I get to help a whole bunch of people. And then I had a bit of a mindset change so that I started to find people who also wanted to build a team because they were also in a similar situation and wanted to make a little bit of money too. Yeah, they wanted to get healthy. Yeah, but if a byproduct of getting healthy is making some cash and buying the Pokemon cards and the oranges, then let's do this, right? Yeah, thanks, Tina. So you helped me find a way to incorporate my love for people and wanting to help people too, and reaching out to help my team and the brand new people. How can we help them help other people and just make this team grow, right? Yeah. Amen.
I'm so proud of you. And you guys are all you probably have a coach, someone that you can think of right now who you're like, I just want this to work for them. And it's like showing them, like getting in their downline, helping them do it. And we deserve to make a good living doing this. Like how many stories we could all go around and be on the Zoom for 3 more hours talking about people's lives who have drastically changed because of this, like lower cholesterol, like dramatic stuff, like people with serious depression, like not wanting to get out of bed. Like, people aren't reaching out and making real connections and sharing someone on the majority of the time. Like we deserve to be paid as much as doctors. For sure. Because, we might not go to school and have a residency for 8 years, but we are like dealing with a whole bunch of stuff and caring for people and following up with people. Like that takes work, that takes time, that takes energy in your brain. So I want you guys to all make the most out of this. I want you to change the world and also change your own at the same time because there's enough money, there's enough success to go around. And it's all about leading with your heart. And it's all about figuring out what your team wants, individual person by individual person, and helping them do that. So if you do that, all of a sudden you're going to have this paycheck. You're like, oh my gosh, I can pay my mortgage in one paycheck. That's the best feeling in the world. When your dream used to be to make $40,000 a year and you felt like that was going to be safe. So cool. Thanks for being on, and I'll hang out till the end here. You guys are free to leave. If you have any other questions that you want to just ask via message, like feel free. Like I'm happy to always hop on a Zoom, look at your downlines, talk to you, reach out to your sponsors too. They can definitely help.
Laura, it's Emily. Would you mind talking a little bit about attracting potential coaches that want to work the business?
Yeah.
I am really super crazy busy, and I keep attracting people who are like me and have no time for this.
It's funny, Emily, so I remember Teresa Curtis saying one time that she's like, this helps me be more organized with my time. And her coach, Laura, was just on the 3.0 Zoom with me on Monday night, and she said the same. She's busy as all heck, like busy. And she's just like, I love being busy. This helps me organize my time better. So maybe it's a switch in your mindset. Like busy people can do this too. I do it. Teresa does it. Like all of us are busy So maybe presenting it as, this helps me stay on top of my fitness, my nutrition, and organize my time better in general, instead of talking to them so much about like, well, you've got to run a challenge group and you've got to do this. So I don't really know how your conversation's been going, but just maybe looking at it differently. Does that something that might help?
Yeah, I think it will be. And I just think, I don't know, I think maybe just attracting, maybe, I don't know.
Emily, I liked how what Vito said at Summit about paying attention to the freedoms that it offers people. Like, this business seriously will benefit anyone's life, no matter what they do with it. But to be able to break it down to location freedom, time freedom, purpose, there were two other ones, but to maybe think about what kind of freedom they might need. Like, if they're super busy right now, maybe they need time freedom. Like, I think about people like you, Teresa, Laura, but also like Shay Sanford. Like, she was working a crazy busy job and realized, like, I have no time to live my life and my health is plummeting. Like, maybe it's starting them as challengers and getting them to organically kind of fall in love with it and see how they could do it too.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I'm always happy to talk more about it if you want, but hopefully that helped.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Yay, thanks for being on, everyone. Feel free to go. I'm just going to
Thank you.
Answer the questions. You're welcome. Bye, Ashley's.
Bye.
Amanda's.
Hey, Sarah, you had mentioned the 900 Club. What is that?
Oh, that's something we do the first Monday of the month on the team. And what I do is I get in my downline and I look at your PV. And I print a report and, separate everyone 900 up. We just do a recognition on the banner. Because if you're having 900 PV in your back office, that shows consistent commissions each month. You're engaging with people. You're helping them. And you're having your Shakeology covered, which is something I want for everyone on the team that wants it, Does that make sense? So, Stephanie, where you would look, right on your home screen.
Yep.
You could look right there at that projected PV.
Cool.
That'd be a good goal. I just want to see that go to 900.
I would love to get to 900.
Yes. Pick one number and make that your goal instead of like,
I like it.
This and this and this. Just pick one. Everything else will grow while you do that.
Awesome. Thank you.
My pleasure.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know, you have two little ones. Amanda, I know that you have a little boy. I'm sure, Sarah, I know that you have two little ones.
Mm-hmm.
So doing this because I have a 2-month-old now, brand new baby, all that fun stuff. And I'm finding it so hard to figure out how to balance new mom and try to get myself further in this business, because I feel like he just takes up so much time and energy. Mm-hmm. So what do I do? Help me, please.
Give up. Any other moms, feel free to chip in, but give up it being perfect. And it's not going to be I still to this day don't have set business hours, and that's not a good example. You guys should have them if you can, for sure. But having two little kids, not always knowing what the schedule is going to be is really hard. So it's fitting it in where I can. And I know you're probably short on sleep right now. You're breastfeeding, stuff like that. But honestly, breastfeeding was go time. It was message back, message back, message back. Using that time to be able to engage with some people. Get a post up on Facebook. Decide what your bottom line must happens are. Maybe that's a post on Facebook. Maybe that's adding 2 new people to your network, 2 new conversations, 2 invites. Pick a number, what is your basic, and be happy every time you get that done. And it might feel like you're spinning all day and you didn't do anything, but you did. You're probably not going to get to sit down and do necessarily a power hour unless, I would ask my husband for help a lot. I'd be like, you need to hang out. I need to go do this for an hour. I'll be back after that. So if you can communicate with your spouse and tell them why you want this, what it's going to help you guys do, they're probably going to be way more okay, I'll take the kids. Does that help? Cool. Yeah. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to do.
This is Emily. I would share too, I think there's a few of us that are co-managing challenge groups together. So that may help. I mean, you may just want to rely on your team for the next couple of months and have, run challenge groups with a couple other people, have them be responsible for all the posts, and then you can just put your people in there. I'm sure they'd be willing to help you.
Yeah, great point. Or even like joining your uplines and just, you could voice message while you're breastfeeding your challengers, how's it going today, thinking of you.
And for the challenge groups and things like that, there's tons of like templates and information that's already in your back office, which I learned in Rock the Basics. I had no idea that that was there. So instead of generating your own content for every post, some of that stuff is already developed and you just can make it your own a little bit. And I have found that that is big for me because I work a crazy busy full-time job too. And sometimes it's hard to come up with all of those things. So that's been a really big help for me as well.
Heck yeah. I think we all just, like, we're all high achievers. We all want to go above and beyond and be perfect. And sometimes you just got to remember they don't know what to expect. You just need to be there for them.
I wanted to hop in, like, a lot of times too. It's like that to-do list. I know that I always was like, in the beginning, I just wanted to get my to-do list all done, but it'll be there tomorrow. So just kind of go with the 3 non-negotiables, and then anything else extra is just like an added bonus to get done each day too. And that really helps not feel so stressed out about it.
My to-do list is never done. I literally have Post-its everywhere. Yay. Okay, cool. All right, well, I guess I will hit end now, unless anyone else has anything they want to chat about. But I appreciate you guys all being on. I hope that was helpful and inspiring, that you can do that too. It just takes connecting with people, which is awesome because they're going to end up being your best friends. So, all right, you guys, have a great night.